Hi everybody, Amanda here, or the Declassified Adoptee. I have an extra audience member today. You all are watching me, and so is my next door neighbor. Hi Doris. Anyway, every 4 years when new presidential candidates are getting their platforms going and trying to get you to vote for them, everybody's most important issues, the issues that divide us all, are on the table. And so are the literal worst arguments for them as well. Those of us who may have some relation to the arguments that are being made, it's nonstop. So in this case, I'm specifically talking about arguments about abortion, pro-life or pro-choice, that misuse adoption in their arguments in terrible ways that, like, those of us who live adoption have to listen to. So an adoptee recently brought this up. I address it like every election cycle, but somebody brought it up today and I couldn't find it on my Instagram feed, or I would give them credit. So if you are them, just comment, let me know. Somebody I follow addressed the "would you rather have been aborted" question already. I, of course, have my own answer to that question that's personal to me. I think this election, my new angle is going to be not just empowering adoptees about how to address this question, because I've done that, but also letting newer adoptive parents, younger adoptees, and also newer original parents know about this question, because you may not have encountered this yet, or your kids may not have encountered this yet. And that is, there is a tendency to use adoption to solve all the problems of abortion. Both sides of the debate misuse adoption greatly. And when people are told, you know, I'm adopted, or I adopted a child, or I am a first parent, that's not a really great argument for us to have to hear all the time. Please don't. Adoptees get the question in response, well, would you just rather have been aborted? It's very important to note that people in general have a very narrow mental category for adoption. That's what happens about any part of life or someone else's life that we have, as humans, have limited amounts of exposure to. We store information in memory in something psychologists call mental categories. And when you don't have enough exposure to some issues and other people, your mental categories are very small. They only contain inside of them what you know about an issue. And if you don't have adequate exposure to an issue or people who live in an issue, then you don't have a lot of information in your folder, in your mental category. When someone is talking about adoption and using adoption for a political purpose without having like an adequate mental category to be able to speak confidently on adoption to do so, they've only got a few things up their sleeve that they can relate as being true to adoption. This is what we also call a stereotype. Like, that's how stereotypes are formed in the mind. Somebody who is automatically relaying abortion and adoption together doesn't have enough information in their mental category to be going head to head with a member of an adoption community who lives it. They just don't. But they do anyway, because adoption and abortion are just in this little mental category together in some people's minds. Parents, especially first parents and adoptive parents, need to know it does not matter if your child's first mother, or you as a child's first mother, it does not matter if you did not even consider abortion. It does not matter if the adopted person was born in a country where abortion's like not even legal. It does not matter if the adopted person was adopted from foster care like at the age of 16. When people hear adoption and they have an argument about very heated emotional topic like abortion to prove, when people hear adoption, the next thing that's in their mental category is abortion. They automatically associate the two as an argument or as a comeback, even if they don't really have anything to do with each other, to the person that they're offering the question to. Does it make sense? No, but a lot of things that people try to use when they don't have enough knowledge to do so don't make sense. So I want to give you my answer. I have a lot of answers. There's a lot of things that you can say. I would rather my first mom have been able to get the help and support that she needs, or I don't really feel like that's a question that I can answer because it involves things that are impossibilities for me to really know and say one way or another, or that question is just really inappropriate, and why would you even ask somebody something like that? So I'm going to tell you one of my very many answers to this question in hopes that it is helpful to activists, parents, adoptees alike, maybe informative, maybe it will build some empathy. When you ask me personally, would you just have rather have been aborted? That reminds me of getting in a time machine, and would I go back and change the fact that my mother gave birth to me instead of opting for an abortion, which she didn't even consider having one. If I had a time machine to go back in time, I wouldn't go back to when my mother was pregnant with me. I would go back and protect her from being raped. Even if, yes, that means that in some cosmic way, I would have never gotten to exist, because my activism for others isn't some narcissistic trip, and justice for everyone is not about my ego. So, all that is to say, before you ask somebody, would you rather have been aborted? If you're a parent and you think that someone could ask this question to your child, or you want to prepare them for how to answer, consider that the adoptee that you are asking probably has thought about their existence a lot more than you have. Maybe that's something that you don't want to bring up or ask because you might find that you're really incredibly humbled by the answer. To those of you that are allies, whether you're adoptive parents, fellow adoptees, or first parents, foster parents, adoption professionals, thank you for being allies. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for helping us correct and push back against questions and comments like this. I know that not everybody talks like that, and I know that people who have talked like that in the past have made mistakes, and that there's opportunities for them to change and not do it again. So I have hope in the future. Thanks, guys. Hi, Doris.